I'm going to start with the question of how do you value yourself right about now? How do you value yourself? Now remember, your self-worth equals your net worth. Okay? And a lot of people forget that. You need to work for your future if you want the good life. Okay? And here's the sting. No one can possibly predict their future. You can't. It's impossible. But the awesome thing is that we can actually get pretty damn close to it. And we can do this by planning, by believing, and by achieving whatever it takes to make it the way that we want it to be. You have the power's in your hands. Now, if I was to ask you right now to write down who you are and what you're capable of, I would say there's a high 90% chance that you're probably going to go small on yourself. Yeah, you're going to think it may be big and may be awesome, but the truth is that most people base who they think they are and what they're capable of the references of their past. And those very thoughts may be the negative forces or the negative experiences that it may very well be holding you back right now. Okay? What do you believe you're worth? Because your net worth in life matches what you believe you're worth. And your beliefs and habits strongly determine your financial success. They really do. Right? We spoke about casting your vision a few weeks back. And if you have no vision for your future, you'll be a slave to your past. So I want you to write down right now, why do you believe that you should have the outcomes that you desire? Get a pen and a pad out and write down why you believe that you should have the outcomes that you desire. I think a lot of people are writing their goals out, right? They write it out, these big audacious goals and their short-term goals, but why do you believe that you should attain those goals? Why are you worthy of those goals? Get crystal clear on that, right? Why should you have that vision that you're dreaming of right now? What skills do you have to make this happen? And what habits are needed to be in place to make this happen? All right, get crystal clear on this. Because what will happen is you'll say something like, I'm worth $1 million. But your subconscious program will tell you, well, wait a minute, are you? I don't know yet. Do you have the skills? Do you have the habits? Do you have the unwavering belief? Right? It's not stupid. And this is why a lot of people don't fulfill their dreams. Because they're not congruent with their underlying beliefs. Right? Their words, their goals aren't congruent with who they really believe that they can become. And if this is you, if you're struggling with this right now, it's because your words in your superconscious mind, I learned that from Deepak, are in opposition. Okay, so get clear until this feels right in your body. So clear that when you say it, there's a massive wave of belief behind it. Right? Because you put the work in to learn the skills. And you have no doubts because you've solidified the right habits to stay persistent. And your brain's already becoming wired for the person that you need to become to get there. Right? There's actually an Aussie psychologist by the name of Alan Richardson who experimented with 3 large groups of these basketball players, right? And he was testing them on their ability to make their free throws. And he took them all out and he actually recorded the performance of their first day. Right? So we had the first group which practiced for 20 minutes every day for 20 days. Okay, he had the second group that didn't practice at all. And then he had the third group that practiced visualizing for 20 minutes every day leading up to that 20 days. They didn't actually physically touch a basketball or practice on court. They visualized it for 20 minutes every day up until that 20 days. He then recorded their free throw abilities on the 20th day. And it's amazing. Like the first group that had practiced every day for 20 days, so 20 minutes, they improved by 24% overall. The second group that didn't practice at all, they were told not even to rock up or visualize or anything, they didn't improve at all. Nothing, 0% improvement, right? And the third group, they had improved by 23%. That's just 1% short of those that had actually practiced on court in the physical. This is a great example of the power of visualization. This is a great example of the power of thought and future pacing. So that's why I would say implement it, right? And what it does is when you visualize, when you future pace, it actually creates muscle memory, right? And what muscle memory is it actually prepares the body and the unconscious to take on the task at hand. This affects your personality. And when it affects your personality, it affects your personal reality. Remember that. Right? Every morning you wake up with a new chance to design your day. Every day is a new opportunity to make it happen. And through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our behaviors, through our actions, we're able to master our own destiny. We're the master controller, the sailor, the architect of our life, whatever you want to call it. We are in control. Don't forget that, right? You're in control. And we're not only able to create our own day, we can create our own life. A day is just one step out of 100,000 miles. Okay, so make it an amazing journey. You create the way that you become, right? You call the shots, no one else does, you do. And every time you have a thought, you create a chemical, okay? And those chemicals are either negative chemicals or they're positive chemicals based off the thoughts that you create. These chemicals trigger off a feeling in our body, and it becomes this loop between the body and the mind, and then it feeds us and it starts to direct us on the road of either greatness or despair. That's what it does. So your thoughts are powerful, okay? What are you filling your day with? Are you filling your day with positive thoughts that serve you, or negative ones that hold you back and disable you from moving forward? If there's one thing that I've actually learned in life, is that you can hear the same thing a million, billion, trillion times over, but if you don't execute on that idea, on that plan, on that strategy, you will fail. And this is the thing, life will hand you a big freaking F if you don't execute. You know, I don't understand when I hear people telling me that they have an idea, that they have these goals, that they have these dreams, but every time I see them, which is usually, you know, months later, they're still talking about the same old thing. So they're usually making excuses as to why they haven't achieved it. And they're usually paralyzed by fear. They're always getting ready to get ready. So if you're someone who is always getting ready to get ready, I'm sorry to cut it to you, but you're a procrastinator. So you got to find out what's holding you back. And I think one of the best things you can actually do for yourself is to follow through no matter what. You know, we all feel that little uncomfortable nagging and that little bit of pain every time we go to make that new decision, that new change in our life, but you need to really shake it off. And you know, you might have these big, grand, audacious goals, and you tell yourself all the time, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Saying it and just starting it but not following it through, that is still procrastination. Alright, so you need to practice. You need to practice with willpower. You need to practice with discipline. You need to have the focus if you want to make it across that finish line at the end of the day. And you know what? I've put things on the back burner before. You know, I used to do that. I used to be that guy that said I'm going to do this and that, and I never followed through. And I don't do it anymore. I commit, I'm all in, I'm 100%, and I'm smart about my commitments too. You know, you never want to overcommit. We talked about it yesterday, having that high EQ, that high emotional intelligence, is that you don't overcommit. You get good at saying no. And when you do commit, you want to treat it like it's a marriage. When you commit, you're all in to the end, till death do us part, right? It's a marriage. With every commitment, you know, you want to be prepared to do this so you can give it your undying focus so you can really make it work. That is the key. Undying focus. You want to be laser focused. You don't want to sort of do it. You want to dominate. That's what you want to do. You want to be numero uno, baby. Number one. So when I come up with an idea, I know that there's like this energy meter running at the time. And you have to follow it through. You have to keep running with it to keep that energy alive. Because if you don't, it starts to die out and you fall behind. And that's why we stress so hard on focus. That's why I stress so hard on telling people that you need to focus, laser focus, pure focus on what you want to achieve. Don't get distracted by all the crap that's out there. And the thing is, if you don't focus on that prize, how do you know what you're fighting for? You need to know what you're fighting for. You need to know what that prize is, and you need to stay focused. So if you let things like, you know, Facebook and all that everyday BS get in your way to the point where that $1 million dream is just left on the back burner all the time, then you are going to live your life in regret. You're going to live it in shame. You're going to live it wondering, you know, what if, why didn't I, why me? There are three things you don't want to be saying at the end of the day. And, you know, I think a lot of people forget how short life really is. You only get one shot at this, man. It's one game, it's one life, and that's it. For here, from what we understand right now, it's, one shot that you have. I was actually reading a book a few weeks back by the philosopher Seneca, and the book's called The Shortness of Life. And in the book, Seneca says, I wrote it down here. Here we go. So, putting things off is the biggest waste of time. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. Wow. And he also says the present is short, the future is doubtful, and the past is certain. There's powerful words right there. And look, I don't know about you guys, but I've been to way too many funerals lately to be putting anything off anymore. I've had quite a few people around me die lately, and it's not fun, I tell you that. And I think another thing that we tend to do way too much is that we tend to focus on the minor things. We play the small game way too often. And if you look at people like, Donald Trump, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, all these high achievers, they say the same thing. They say, think big. These guys live it. They think big. They build big towers and they make big things happen. And the thing is, too many people are worried about their makeup, what they look like, and how many likes they have on their Instagram pics, or how many comments they have. These are the minors. And if you focus on the minors, you're going to be left with the bare minimum, and that's the truth. But if you focus on the majors, you're going to get the big hits. It's simple math, right? Do your math. Where is your thermostat at? And I'm not talking about financial thermostat, but I'm talking about your happiness thermostat, your experience thermostat, your love thermostat. Are you taking each of these thermostats to level 10? Or are you just playing this halfway on some level and something else you're kind of just doing it on 2 or 1? Or are you getting sidetracked by society's insecurities like reality TV shows or even, commercial products and things like that are out there that other people are actually making major money on, by the way? Not you, them. So do you know what your musts are to peak that level of your thermostat? Do you know? Something that I heard neuroscientist, life coach, author John Assaraf say recently in an interview. He asked the question of, are you playing at a kindergarten level? Or are you playing at a university mastery pro level in what you want to do? I think that's a valid point. Think about that. Are you going for the pros? Are you thinking big? Yeah? And if you are thinking big, can you think a little bit bigger? And can you think bigger than that? Because that's where you want to be at. It's funny, I'm actually in the middle of a documentary right now. Charlene and I, my fiance, and we're absolutely hooked on this documentary, and it's called Cosmos. It's actually narrated by the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. And it's a great documentary. Basically, it breaks down the meanings and the understandings of, life and space and the universe and the cosmos. And it's amazing. So if you get a chance, you want to watch that documentary. It's actually on Netflix. But look, the one part of that documentary that is a real standout to me is the first episode. Right? And Neil deGrasse Tyson, he takes you through our whole solar system, he takes you through our galaxy, and then he takes you through the universe and what they believe to be outside of that. And it's crazy when you watch this, it fully opens your mind to the idea of what other amazing things are out there that we don't even know about. It also makes you kind of realize that, at the end of the day, we're pretty small. We're so small, and all those dramas and all those troubles that come our way in our life it's almost obsolete to what's really out there in the big scheme of things. And this is truly humbling. So we need a little reminder from time to time that the world doesn't just revolve around us, and that we should be focusing on more important things in our life. So how do you go from kindergarten to the pros? That's the question for the day. Right, how do you go from that level 1 level to level 10? You want to max out whatever position you're in. You want to max out in life. You want to max out your business. You want to max out your happiness levels, your love levels. And if you want to do that, you need to be well pro'd up in the areas of your vision, your why, and your goals. And if you don't know what your vision is your ideal outcome for what you would love to achieve. And then you got your why, which is your burning desire for you to reach that vision. It's basically, your motivation. It pulls you, it inspires you to get there. And people are either pulled by two different things: desperation or inspiration, pain or pleasure. Work out your why. Why do you need to reach this vision? Why is it so important to you? And what you want to do is you want to go 5 levels deep with it to really find out why. And then goals. The third thing, obviously everyone knows what goals are. Write it down, make it happen. To keep it plain and simple. They're for your little short-term achievements. They're like the little pegs along the way. So don't get caught up too much on the little goals for too long. What you want to do is you want to reach that vision. Okay, so your goals are those little markers that get you there, where you platform from one goal to another to get you there. I'm just kind of warming you up and priming you for the majors here. Alrighty? So just remember this. If there's one key thing that I can stress to you, it's to practice being focused. Self-discipline is what's really going to get you there. And that's with any area of your life. Self-discipline to implement new habits, to learn, to meditate, to stop complaining, right? And it comes down to a high level of focus on the positive, productive things that are going to inch you closer to your vision. So if you can learn to prioritize, plan, to be methodical in your approach to life, you will win. All right, that's me for today. I hope you took a lot from this call. Make sure you get out there, kick ass, have a load of fun, and make your dreams happen. Bye.
If you haven't already, make sure that you head over to morningmotivationcalls.com. I just launched the second series of the Morning Motivation Calls, which is 10 minutes every morning for the month of May of nothing but pure motivation, advice from world-class experts, high achievers, top leaders in a number of different industries that are sharing their success advice with you to inspire you, to empower you, to ride your day with momentum towards success. We'll be sharing advice on productivity, time management, charisma, being authentic, casting your vision, finding your why, achieving success in all areas of your life. So make sure that you head over to morningmotivationcalls.com before you miss out. Last month was an absolute blast. We had so many amazing breakthroughs. I don't want you to miss this one. So head over to morningmotivationcalls.com, write it out, make every minute count, and live it up. Bye.